Like I said, I grew up in Richmond, Virginia. It's a place where segregation was not only history, but something you could still feel and see. I attended an integrated school, but the lessons I learned about race came from watching who sat together in the cafeteria, whose families were talked about with pride, and whose stories were missing altogether. I did not have a language as a child for racial justice then. I only knew that something felt very uneven. That early awareness stayed with me even as I got older and volunteered in my community. I believed in equity, but I did not yet know how to act on it with full conviction. That changed when I became a mother. Parenting has a way of turning values into decisions, and suddenly the questions became very real. What are my children learning about who they are and who matters? What kind of world are they being prepared to shape? And I wanted them to feel safe, grounded, and seen, and I understood that meant I needed to live the values that I hoped that they would grow into. The moment that really called me into action and advocacy as a parent came at my child's school. It was named after Harry F. Byrd. Some of you may know that he was the Virginia senator who led massive resistance. That was the political campaign to stop integration and maintain segregated public education across the United States. The school was taken, the land for this school was taken by eminent domain from an African American family that had been educating people after emancipation many generations ago, and then they named the school after Harry Byrd. One day, a student launched a campaign to change the name. She was young, clear, and brave. She said that students deserve to learn in a place that reflects inclusion, not exclusion. And when I heard her speak, I felt something move in me. I recognized the courage, I recognized the urgency, and I recognized that I could not stay quiet. I was on the PTA board of that school. I had relationships, access, and privilege in that space, and I knew that I could help. So I chose to step in without stepping in front. I worked to support the campaign in a way that centered the students' leadership. I helped with strategy and communication. I helped build a bridge between parents, educators, and community members. And my job was not to replace her voice, but to amplify it. The first vote on that decision was a no. It was not unanimous, and there was real resistance. We realized that we needed to find our people and build collective power. So change does not happen just because something is right. We all know this. It happens because people choose to stand together. So we kept organizing. We kept inviting others in. We kept telling the truth about what the name represented and what our children deserved. And then it shifted after a long, long time. The school became the first in the state to reject the symbolic honoring of a racist leadership in its name, which is a big deal in Virginia 10 years ago. So the outcome was not just that name change, right? The outcome was witnessing a young person step into her power and a community learn that we can build something different than what we've inherited. I learned that leadership is not about being the loudest voice. It is about creating the conditions for others to lead. It's about choosing to stay in the work even after the first or second or third answer is no. That experience is what led me to organizing and into environmental justice. I did not arrive at this work by accident. I arrived because I learned that every single struggle for justice is connected. The same systems that once decided which children would learn together also decide which neighborhoods breathe clean air and which ones are next to highways, landfills, and power plants. Environmental justice is the most intersectional and urgent work of our time, or I believe. It asks us to protect the most vulnerable. It asks us to build a future where all children have the right to thrive. The work I began as a mother in a school community grew into this broader fight because the well-being of our families and the well-being of our planet cannot be separated. And that is what keeps me in the work today, even though it's very tiring and never ends. I believe change is possible when we find our people, when we act together, and when we make space for shared leadership. I believe we can build something better together, and I believe the story of who belongs and what is possible is still being written, and I'm here because I choose to be part of writing it. So that's my narrative.